Stop along the way, everybody knew his name. A different story down every line, people working hard just to live.
Hey y'all, it's big country survival. Just got home from church and a little little store shopping. Got a little trip to Harbor Freight. Pair of leather work gloves. I go through these things like nothing. You work with steel, you need leather gloves, and you wear them out quickly. So I've got my knife that I've been working on, getting that wood handle on it, getting that sanded down. Left a few little ridges, something to grip to. Fitting pretty nice in the hand, and I'm going to start treating it. A little bit of Danish oil. Figure we'll give that stuff a try. I've got it, so I'm gonna try that, see what that does to the handle. Yes, I'm using a deer horn to stir it up. Well, I'm gonna put some of that stuff on there, and we will see what she does.
And we started back the way we came, like people moving through a picture frame. It seems the whole world's further down the track, but I'm always looking back. I don't expect you.
Alright, so the Danish oil is applied. So far it looks pretty good. I don't know, I like the smell of that Danish oil. Let me get off of here for a second. I'll be right back. I'll show you right now what exactly this Danish oil stuff is. Hey y'all, this is Danish oil. All it is pure linseed oil right here, and I have no idea whatsoever how old this stuff is. But yeah, it's just flax oil. And I got this stuff, it's a wood finish, and I wasn't really wanting to stain my handle, just wanting to keep it protected, get something on it for that. I really didn't want to what's the word, really didn't want to sorry, I kind of made a mess with that can. Got a few places, but yeah, I didn't really want to stain the handle. I just kind of wanted it to keep it natural oak. So yeah, it's an oak handle. And hold on with me a second, and I'll show you where I got the wood. Old piece of oak flooring. I'm assuming it'd be flooring. I kind of scavenge. I scavenge wherever I can. Like the linseed oil, really, this entire knife, for from start to finish is I have no money in materials here. All I've got money in is the tools I used to make it with. Oh, and a little bit of wood glue. I've got like a couple drops of wood glue that I just stuck down in there. Didn't really need it, but I wanted to. But I was given, and you know, I had to go in and clean the place out. I have a fellow that he's got dementia real bad, and he was, you know, a man after, you know, we're kind of in the same cloth, I suppose, in that we don't throw anything away. He's a good fellow. Anyway, they moved and had to get a bunch of stuff out of his place, and I mean, I kind of hated doing it. Just going through and, you know, we throw away a lot of stuff that just wasn't useful, but I saved a lot. I saved a lot of stuff that most people probably walk by and I'm like, just throw it in the trash. Just throw it in the trash. I'll show you one of the things that I was told to, you know, just throw in the trash. Just throw it in the trash. Man, how wasteful. I can use this. I don't have any idea what I'm going to use it for other than its intended purpose. But I can use this. Why in the world would I throw it away? That's a planter. Could probably figure some other stuff. It's got holes in it, but probably figure some other stuff out for it. But I can use this. That linseed oil, I can use it. Or that, yeah, the Danish linseed oil. Wood stain, paint. I can use this. Screws, nuts, bolts. You can use it. Horseshoes. I mean, I can find a use for that. I can use that. Steel. You know, people would just throw this away. No. There is value in it. These are the kinds of things that people, after SHTF, people will kill each other over. Nuts and bolts and screws, and, you know, people will be willing to pay premium for those kinds of items. You know, maybe not so much the wood finish and Danish oil stuff like that, paint, especially because most of the paint is high gloss and things like that. But you know, steel, things like this. I made this. That is a byproduct of being a welder, my friends. That right there burns. I just noticed that. Look at this little teeny tiny little C-clamp. Someone was going to throw that away. Kitchen knives. Someone was going to throw that away. This, I have no idea anything about it other than it is a little freaking disposable saw with a handle that looks like a pistol. Someone was going to throw that away. I actually need to find out whether I can get some replacement blades for it or not. But you see where I'm getting at with this, guys. There are just these little items, little, you know, trinkets, I guess you could say, little pieces of scrap. There are uses for them. And people are just going to up and chuck them. Why would you do that? You guys really need to think about what you are throwing away. What you are throwing away. I mean, I have stopped along the side of the road to pick up a piece of rope. I'm not the only one in my family that's done that either. Just a piece of rope. Just a regular old, run-of-the-mill piece of rope. I've stopped alongside the road to do that. I found wrenches. I found a lot of the stuff that's here. I just found. Like, this freaking T-bit that I was using for an anvil. I found it. This chunk of railroad tie that I'm now using as an anvil. Bit. Well, actually I found that in that same house. Little pieces of scrap. There's a use for this. I might not know what it is yet, but there is a use for this. It's all about improvising, and you look at these raw materials and you say, what in the world can I do with them? My power tools and a couple of my hand tools held up with just a piece of 1/8" steel strapping, some old washers, and some old horseshoes. All that scrap I've got, other than welding wire, which I probably have maybe $1 worth of welding wire and electric in making this thing. See that? I've got like $2 in it. Everything else is all scrap, stuff that I scavenged, stuff that I found, and it works good. It looks good, I think. Could have painted it, but boom. Y'all be mindful when you're walking around. Little nuts and bolts dude, my little mascot in here in the workshop. Yeah, I just call him Nuts and Bolts guy. Say hi, Nuts and Bolts. That was the start of Nuts and Bolts gal, but never got around to finishing her. You guys, just be mindful what you throw away. Just be mindful. My workbench itself, piece of steel that was just given to me. I mean, it's sitting on top of a regular workbench that doesn't have a metal top on it, so it's no good for welding. But I just threw this big heavy chunk of steel. I picked this thing up. I mean, this is like 3/8" thick steel, at least. Probably closer to half. But I mean, I just picked this thing up and set it up there, and I made it my own. Old rebar. I mean, you look at that. You look at that kind of stuff. Be mindful what you throw away. End of rant. Yo, big country survival. Signing out. God bless.